in 10 years, do I want to be in exactly the same position I am right now because I was too scared or because I got in my own way and I self-sabotage? Do you want to accomplish your goals or not? Because all I see is you getting in your own way. Let's talk about it. Lovelies, welcome back. It's your girl Toby. If you're listening to this on the podcast, welcome back to the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Be sure you're subscribing to me on both my podcast, Steady Making It, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you stream your podcast, or you're subscribing to my channel on YouTube at Toby Christina Live. So depending on what the topic is, that just depends where I post it, and sometimes I post it on both channels. But subscribe to both so you don't miss out ever. But I'm really looking forward to the chit chat today. It's just going to be a nice conversation. We're just going to be talking about how we get in our own way, how we self-sabotage, and how we can fix that so that we can become our better selves, because we don't want to self-sabotage. We don't want to get in our own way. So I'm just going to be sharing my journey with it, how I've been struggling all year, guys, and how I am trying to fix this and turn it around. So let's get right into today's episode. The first way you're probably getting in your own way is that, sis, you are not disciplined. And this is something that I'm still struggling with. So I definitely relate if you're just struggling with that, just not having that self-discipline. For example, like I would be like, I want to wake up on time. Like I want to wake up early so I can work out before I start my work day. And because of that, I can start work on time, end work on time. I can work on content or my podcast or other things that I need to do, eat dinner, go to bed on time, and just have that continuous productive cycle, right? That's ideally what I want to happen. What eventually happens is I don't go to bed on time because I'm watching TV or doing whatever it is or scrolling on TikTok. So then I get up late. And because I get up late, I have to like start work later than I wanted to start. Or it's like I'm just getting up, rolling out of bed and heading straight into work. And I've missed like 2 or 3 hours that I could have had in the morning to work out or do some content planning or work on my goals or things like that. So then I'm starting work all harried and just like annoyed that I didn't have time to work on stuff before the workday started. And then I'm ending work later than I should be. So then I'm going to the gym later on, or I'm not even going to the gym at all. I'm eating dinner later. And then that turns that cycle into like, then because I ate dinner later, then I'm going to bed later, and it just starts over and over again. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I know that for me to be able to get up at like 6 a.m. in the morning, I need to go to bed by like 10, 10:30, 11. Like between 10 to 11, I should be in bed, and not like getting into bed at like 11 and then scrolling all the way till midnight. I need to be like eyes closed, phone down by like 10:30, 11. And I just don't have that discipline to stop whatever I'm doing, watching TV, scrolling, talking on the phone, whatever it is. I don't have that discipline so I can go to bed on time so that I can wake up early. And it's like, I know better, but it's just like I am working against myself by not even being able to have a proper evening and morning routine. So how do I fix that? First, it's like asking questions like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, you know better, like, why are you doing this to yourself? And that's something that I had to think about. It's like, okay, why are you going to bed late? Like, why are you not able to go to bed on time when you know the repercussions that has when you go to bed late, right? So I asked myself that question. You have to ask yourself that too when you're doing something that, you know, that's like self-sabotage, or you see yourself getting in your own way. You have to ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this to myself? So I asked that to myself. I'm like, why are you going to bed late when you know better? And it was because I feel like I need to decompress, right? I'm like, okay, the day was just so stressful. Nighttime, everything's quiet. Nobody's looking for you. Like, you're not expected to like respond to work emails. No one's looking for you at work. Like, your personal life is quieted down. It's just like quiet. And I love that quiet time. You know, that like 10 p.m. to like midnight, like you're not texting, the group chats are quiet, your manager's not looking for you. It's just like quiet. And I look at that as like my me time. And because of that, I want to extend it as much as possible, where it's like, okay, now it's finally some peace and quiet. The neighborhood's quieter, everything's just quiet, and I could just like watch TV, or I'm just scrolling on TikTok. I just see that as like a me time, basically. And because I want to extend that as much as possible, I end up sleeping late, which then makes me wake up late. So then it's like figuring out like, okay, what can I do to sort of tweak this so that it's still giving me what I want, which is that me time, but I am not making it affect how early I wake up in the day. And so I was like, okay, if I still want to watch TV, just like decompress, can I just watch one episode instead of 3 episodes? Like just giving myself little baby steps like that. Like I'm not saying cut out your TV. Like I'm not saying don't watch TV during the week, only watch it on the weekends. No, because you still deserve to do things that make you happy and like self-care, things that you enjoy during the week. So I'm like, okay, how can I manage this better? So I'm like, okay, instead of watching like 3 or 4 episodes, just like binging episodes, can you just watch one episode? And that's it. Maybe two, but just give yourself a set time to still do the things that you enjoy, but giving yourself that limit and creating discipline around it. I also try to think about how I'd feel once I actually get disciplined and do the things that I want to do, like having my ideal routine, right? Like if I'm able to get up on time and work out before I start my workday, I feel so good because first of all, I love to work out. I feel like it's giving myself a little self-care before I start the workday. And then I go into my workday being like, okay, I've already worked out. I've done such a big thing for myself already. I'm ready to start work. So then you finish your workday and then you're able to do other things instead of getting to the end of the workday. And it's like, I feel so bad. I woke up so late. I didn't even get to work out. I didn't get to pour into myself first before I had to go to work. So I try and think of how good I feel when I actually have those days where I wake up early and I work out and I do all the things that I always intend to do and I feel so great. So I try and think of that feeling to motivate me, to remind me of why I need to be disciplined. We also let ourselves down and get in our own way when we're negative and mean to ourselves. Mindset is everything, guys. How you think about yourself, what you say about yourself, what you believe about your life. Do you believe you can accomplish things? Do you believe you can be successful? Do you believe that you can build the life that you want? Do you believe that good things can happen to you? All these things inform our actions and how we show up for ourselves. If you don't believe in yourself, why should someone else believe in you? And also, you need to love yourself. Like, no one can love you more than you love yourself. So that's why I say mindset is everything and how we get in our own way when our mindset is not right. I went to my acting class last week and we were learning a new technique. Y'all, I've never done this technique before, never acted professionally, didn't do theater school and all those things. It's like a brand new technique I'm trying out for the first time, and everyone in class was sort of struggling with it, including me. And tell me why I was beating myself up so hard. I was like, this is so horrible. You're not getting it. Like, why are you even acting? Like, why are you even doing this? There's no point. And I was just telling myself these negative things, really beating myself up just because I was in a class. It's a beginner's level class, and I was struggling with something that was very normal for me to struggle with, and I was beating myself up. And that's why I tell you how your mindset gets in your own way. Y'all, I was really in there thinking like, why am I doing this? I need to quit. Like, why are you focusing on acting? Why are you trying to make this work? Go do other things. And I was beating myself up about that. And I was like, that is such a dangerous place to be in, because it's very easy to listen to those inner critical thoughts and believe them. And that's something you never want to do. You want to always recognize when it's like, okay, this is a critical voice. This is not really me. This is a voice I shouldn't be listening to. And you try and answer those thoughts with like positivity, right? For example, if I'm hearing that thought, like, why are you here? Why are you even bothering? I'll be like, I'm here because I like acting and I want to get better, and I'm a beginner and I'm only going to keep getting better. Like, this is just a beginner's level class. Like, you want to answer all those things. Or when it's like, you suck, like, you're not great at this. And it's like, actually, I'm doing just great. I'm learning. I'm going to keep getting better with each class. So you need to like answer those negative thoughts with your own positive like rebuttal, and not listen to those negative thoughts, because if I was listening to that and like let it overtake my mindset, I could really give up. I'll be like, you're right, you know, like, why am I in this class? Like, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to do this anymore. So that's the way we get in our way. It's like when you have those negative thoughts in your mindset's not right, and you sort of give into that and let the negative mindset win. So I tell y'all, like, it really be ourselves that we're fighting. Like, we're our own biggest enemy, because again, it's no one telling you that you're not great at something. My teacher was like, you were great, blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't listening to that. I was listening to myself say like, you're not good at this. You should give up. And for anyone out here who's watching this video and you also struggle with like negative inner critical thoughts, that is not you and it's not true. Don't believe it. You need to talk back to them, talk back to those thoughts with positivity, reminding yourself who you are and that you can do this, and don't get in your own way with your negative mindset. All right, quick drink break. I didn't have time to go to the grocery store before this video, so I'm just being very basic with a lovely ice cold lemon water, but I love a lemon water. If you guys have any drink suggestions that I should try, let me know. Maybe I'll try and like give them reviews and videos. I'm trying to like go outside my comfort zone and try different types types of drinks. So any like of your nice drinky drinks that you like, or if you have a cocktail recipe or whatever it is, share that with me and I'll try it in the next video. Okay, back to the video. All right, let's talk more about how we get in our own way and give some examples. So let's use social media because I know a lot of people struggle with that. So it's like I want to be consistent on whatever platform you choose. Like I want to post, I want to put myself out there. Okay, you decide, great. So you post one video, maybe it doesn't do great, and you're like in your head, like, oh my God, like this isn't great. It didn't perform well. No one likes my content. The algorithm doesn't like me. And you're saying all these things after just putting out one video, or it could be 10 videos or 100 videos you put out, but you're saying all these things to yourself and getting in your own way of just posting when evidence and like even successful content creators have talked about it multiple times that you just need to keep going. Like keep posting, don't care what anyone thinks, don't care if it only gets one like, keep posting. So you internalize that and you're like, right, I'm gonna keep posting. But then something on the other ear is like whispering like, don't post, nobody cares, like you're not like all those other content creators and things like that. And that's how we get in our own way. And then you stop posting because you're like, it's not even gonna perform well, or you have a fear of being perceived, which is mine. I'm like, I don't want to be out there, I just want to be in my own little bubble. And I start telling myself not to post anymore, even though it's something that I know that I really want. And it's like, how do you combat that, right? So what I do again is like listening to all those other content creators when they talk about their stories and hearing how they all started from the same place. Like hardly anyone just goes viral off their first video or their first 100 videos. Like a lot of people have been creating content for almost 10 years and then now it looks like they blew up overnight. But if you go to their channel or you like hear from them, you see that they've been posting and doing this for 10 years. So it's like reminding yourself of that. And it's like, this is a journey, and reminding yourself of other examples of people that have gone through what it is you're going through. Another thing is to always remind yourself of your why. Every time you're self-sabotaging or getting in your own way, remind yourself, why do I even want this in the first place? And maybe your motivations are not super clear. Maybe you don't know why you're doing it, or maybe even the reason why you're doing it has changed and you don't feel so aligned with your goal, what you thought was your goal anymore. So in that case, you need to do some adjustments and figure out what it is you want. But a lot of times we're not clear on our why, and that's why we get so easily discouraged. That's why we self-sabotage. That's why we get in our own way, because we don't even know why we're doing it, or whatever we thought it is that we wanted, we don't even want it anymore. So you sort of need to ask yourself those questions, get clear on your why, and that should give you motivation to keep going even when it gets tough. Another thing to do is to try and take yourself out of it as much as possible. Take the emotions out of it. So again, going back to the social media example, if you want to post on social media, but every time you feel so shy, it's like you're like, people are watching, my friends from high school, like old bosses, whatever it is, you need to take yourself out of the equation as much as possible. And how do you do that? Some people create brand new Instagram pages, so it's like they're starting over. No one from high school is following them on it, so they can post and feel free and do whatever. You can also schedule posts, which I've started doing on Instagram this week. I'm so glad they have that feature now. So I just put my posts, I schedule it so I don't even have to think about it, and I'm not giving myself the opportunity to talk myself out of it before it's time to post. So previously, you have to post manually, right? So I'll wake up, I'll be like, I'm going to post on Wednesday. And I wake up Wednesday and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I'm just not in the great mood. I feel self-conscious, blah, blah, blah. But now since I've already scheduled it, I can't even think about it. So it just gets posted without me even realizing if I didn't open Instagram that day that something posted. So take yourself out of it as much as possible. Try and create systems or routines or leverage tools or whatever it is that you can do so that you're just working on autopilot and not relying on how you feel in the moment to accomplish that goal. So let's use another example that's not social media. So let's, going to the gym, which is something a lot of people can relate with. Maybe, you want to get fit, you want to be more physically active, but you keep self-sabotaging. You're not waking up to go to the gym. You're not like putting your all in your workouts. You need to ask yourself why. Like, why am I getting in my own way? Maybe you don't like your gym. Maybe you don't like your trainer. Maybe you don't like the workout class that you're going to. Like, it's not fun. You don't enjoy it. So of course you're not going to go to the gym. So try and figure out like, okay, how can I reframe this, or what can I do so that I can actually be more committed and not get in my own way? So maybe you need to change your workout class. I don't like cardio, guys. So I would never be committed to going to like a running club every weekend or running every day or things like that. But I love kickboxing, and kickboxing perfectly like fuses like cardio with strength training, which I love. So my kickboxing class, I'm always excited to go. I just scheduled to go to one tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm going to start my discipline routine 7 a.m. tomorrow. And that's because I love the class. So the chances of me actually going are higher because the time, 7 a.m., is not my time of the day that I like to be up. But because it's a class that I actually enjoy, that actually increases the chances of me actually going. But if it was a 7 a.m. class to go running, y'all know I'm probably not going to make it to that class. So that's what I mean by actually figuring out why you're self-sabotaging. So maybe not liking your workout class, fixing it to increase the chances of you doing it. So, switching from running to kickboxing, and that just helps you not get in your own way. And let me just share more questions y'all need to ask yourself anytime you catch yourself self-sabotaging. So, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid of failing, or am I afraid of being successful? That's a real thing. Like sometimes you think like I could actually be good at this and you're scared of what that means. Like, how would I be able to cope with that level of success, with my business doing so well? Like, would I be able to keep up with orders? Whatever it is, like you're actually almost scared of it doing well. So it's like you're self-sabotaging because you can feel your potential. You know you're going to make it and you're scared of that. So that's another thing. We talk about fear of failure a lot, but there's also the fear of being successful. Another question to ask we talked about is, what is my true motivation? Maybe you don't know what you really want and that's why you're self-sabotaging. Maybe it's something you thought you wanted but you don't want it anymore and you're not sure like how to pivot. You're not sure how to like change your mind and figure it out. Maybe it's something you've told people for a long time, like this is my goal, this is my main motivation, but maybe you don't like it anymore and you don't know how to accept that within yourself. You don't know how to tell other people that. Maybe you feel like if you change your goal or whatever it is you want, that it's quitting, right? And a lot of times we don't want to quit. Maybe your main motivation was to have this business and it's just not doing well and you're also not enjoying it anymore, right? And it's like you need to change that North Star goal you have, but it's like, if I give up on this business, it feels like I'm quitting. Will people think I'm a quitter? So maybe that's why you're self-sabotaging. Maybe that's holding you back. Another question to ask is, what are my limiting beliefs? So maybe you believe like I'm just not going to be good at it, or maybe you believe like I'm just not going to be successful at it. Whatever it is, there's something holding you back, making you self-sabotage. So that's another question to ask yourself. Another question is, am I afraid of change? Like sometimes we get so comfortable in our routines. It's our comfort zone. It's our safe space. And when we stop self-sabotaging, that could just like switch up our routine. It could expose us to new opportunities, expose us to new things. And we just want to stay safe as humans. It is very normal to want to stay in your same routine even when you know you need to break out of that, but just everyone just loves their comfort zone. That's why it's called your comfort zone. So maybe you're afraid of change. Another thing is, am I being realistic? Is that why I'm self-sabotaging? If you have like a really busy schedule, like a 9 to 5, and you're trying to like add on so many other things to that, maybe you're holding back because you're just tired. You don't have the capacity. You're exhausted and you're just like, I can't even do any more than this. Like you're actually tired and you're burnt out. So you're self-sabotaging. So you want to make sure you're realistic with those goals you're setting for yourself. You want to make sure you're realistic with routines you're setting for yourself. If you have a job that really like keeps you in the office late, chances are you probably cannot make it to like a 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. workout class. So you need to be realistic with that. Don't try and set that for yourself because you're going to want to stay in bed, and that's not self-sabotage. Your body is just tired. So maybe you just have to go to your workout class after work instead. So that's what I mean. Like, be realistic because you have to be able to tell the difference between, is it self-sabotage or is it just self-preservation?
Were you silent or were you silenced?
That's a real question to ask yourself. And finally, it's like, what do I have to gain from self-sabotaging? So again, going back to my point of being fear of success, like by self-sabotaging, maybe you're like, that means I wouldn't be asked to this opportunity, or maybe my business won't grow and I wouldn't have to deal with the stress of potentially having to expand or hire a team to help me or invest in new manufacturers, whatever it is. It's like, what do I have to gain from self-sabotaging? Like, ask yourself that question, like, and then maybe you can see the real reason why you're doing it. Finding yourself or what your motivation is, like, I feel like that should be the thing you go to every time you feel like getting in your own way and self-sabotaging. It's like, why am I doing this? In 10 years, where do I want to be? And that's literally what keeps me going. I'm like, in 10 years, do I still want to keep complaining about some of the things I complain about now? In 10 years, do I want to be in exactly the same position I am right now because I was too scared or because I got in my own way and I self-sabotage? No, like I want to be able to say like, oh my God, in 10 years, I am completely far apart from where I started. Like I can see it's like night and day. There's a big difference. And that's because I didn't get in my own way. So always remind yourself of your why and what your ultimate motivation is to keep you going when you feel like pulling yourself back. And my final point is, allow yourself to believe that everything will work out for you. I think a lot of times when we self-sabotage, again, it's that fear aspect, right? It's like, I don't know how things are going to work out. I'm scared. I'm nervous. Whatever it is that you tell yourself, that makes you hold yourself back, allow yourself to think like, what if it actually works out? What if actually everything turns out so positively well for me? What if like things beyond my wildest dreams happen if I just don't hold myself back? So allow yourself to believe that everything will work out for you, and it'll work out in the most amazing way ever. I have a newsletter where I share my life learnings as I encourage you to navigate life with intention and to love yourself along the way. I've linked to it in the description box, so be sure to subscribe. And that's it on today's video on how we get in our own way and some things we can do to change that. I hope you find this video helpful. Please comment below if you've ever struggled with self-sabotage and how you dealt with that. How did you overcome it? And please leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know you're here. I'm trying to be consistent on YouTube, so say hello. I always say hello back. Let me know what videos you want to see from me, and I'll see you next week.